Welcome to my time lapse of me drawing my new coloring page. It's for fall. It's based on fall in New Mexico. So I'm going to see if I can just ramble on and talk for 7 minutes because this is a 7-minute time lapse. It was actually 15 minutes, but I made it double speed even. So this actually took probably a couple hours to make, but you know, you don't want to watch this for a couple hours in real time. That would be crazy. So I am going to ramble at you as this goes on. First, I want to talk about how to get ideas because a question that's asked a lot is how do you come up with your ideas or how do you get inspiration, that kind of thing, And I think people who don't create a lot or aren't artists, I don't know. It's hard because I feel like I have so many ideas. Ideas are always coming to me, and I have ideas that have been sitting in my brain for years that have not been done yet. And a lot of the time, ideas just like randomly appear while I'm doing something else. So for this one, I had been thinking about this for a couple months. I was like, what am I going to make for the fall coloring page? I don't know. Should it be like Halloween related, fall related, New Mexico related? What should it be? I don't know. My last one was so cute. I don't know. So I went to the balloon fiesta Monday morning. Like we go every year. I love the balloon fiesta in Albuquerque. We go every year, and this year we went Monday, and we usually drive up to this park at like 5:30, 6 a.m. and we'll take our bikes and we'll bike 2 miles on this trail that leads right into the Balloon Fiesta Park. So we did that Monday morning, had all sorts of balloon fun, came back, and I was really tired, obviously, because I had to wake up at 5 a.m. and go biking at 6 a.m. and then look at all these balloons. So I was just laying in bed trying to nap, but I kept thinking of ideas for this coloring page. I wasn't trying to think of ideas, but in my head I was like, oh, it would be really cute if I kept the cat and the Roadrunner characters in this next coloring page. And what if the Roadrunner was on top of a stack of pumpkins dangling some chilies at the kitty? Like, that is my thought. And I immediately had to get out of bed and be like, I have to sketch this out. This is such a cute idea. So I went to my just regular sketchbook with pencil paper and made a drawing of this. And I could not sleep. I spent the rest of the day doing this digital drawing. I also had a whole bunch of clay work I was probably supposed to be doing, but I was like, nope, today is a digital illustration day because this idea appeared to me and I must get it done. So whenever I think I'm worried about, oh, I need to get something done or I need to come up with an idea, I know that it'll all work out because I will get an idea. Ideas will just appear. Although they don't always just appear, but they usually appear when you're doing something else or you're inspired by something else. So also like Balloon Fiesta inspires me, so I added a couple little balloons in there. And everything in New Mexico inspires me. New Mexico is so pretty. It has such like a rich culture and background and like iconic things and food within New Mexico that are just so easy to add in to something where you're like, yes, that is the Southwest, that is New Mexico. Like chilies, red and green chilies, that is very New Mexico. And I had no idea when I was living in Minnesota that New Mexico was so awesome. This is not a state I assumed I would ever live in, but now I absolutely love it here. I also see a lot of roadrunners in my neighborhood. They are so fun and funny. Like, they're the cutest birds that just run around. Yeah, so I love it here. That's the gist of this. And it's just inspiring to be here. I feel like that's a lot of places. It reminds me of my mom. So like when we lived in California, my mom would paint a lot. She would paint scenes of the ocean. She would paint scenes of like flowers or like the nature or sunsets. But when we moved back to Minnesota, she didn't paint a lot of things, but the place can be very inspiring to be creative. And that's kind of how I feel New Mexico is. It's very inspiring. Okay, so I've successfully rambled for about 5 minutes. I have a few more minutes of rambling to go. What else should I talk about? I talked about inspiration, ideas. I just have so many things I want to do and create. And it's kind of great that I do so much pottery and clay work, but then I can do something like an illustration or printmaking as something extra. Or like if I just get a little burnt out with pottery, I can move to a different art form, which is what I'm doing here. My ideas can come out in different mediums. It doesn't have, I don't feel like I have to stick with one thing, where some people say like you should stick with one medium, but really all of my art is very similar to each other. Like you can tell this is my illustration, and if you looked at my pottery, it looks very similar to my illustration style. I think it's helpful that like I went to school for animation, so I love building characters and little worlds, and even in my pottery I build little characters. Like they're all a little character, and they can all live in their own little world of some kind, or you buy it and it lives in your own little world. Anyway, I'm really excited about the next coloring contest. So I take these illustrations and they become coloring contests, and this one is going to be my fall 2025 coloring contest. So if you're interested in joining that, you have to sign up for my email list and you'll get a downloadable version of this image, and you can color it with like printing it and coloring it with colored pencils or whatever you have, or you can color it digitally too. So whatever way you color it is just fine for me. And then usually I have prizes like my mugs. I'll give someone, the winner will win a mug, and I'll send it to you for free. I'm also gonna probably have some honorable mentions that win prints. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how people color this. Because the last coloring contest, there were some really cool ones, and people are creative. Things that I would never even think to color. Like, yeah, and I'm also excited to color it because I have ideas of how to do that for myself. Oh my gosh, look at these little pumpkins. I gave them all little faces. I was gonna do regular pumpkins, but jack-o'-lantern ones, just so cute. And that's the final version. Have fun coloring if you choose to.